Roger Waters is with us now in Studio 57. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Great to have you here.
What made you want to go back and take a look at this in this documentary film?
I started touring again about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, and I did a number of solo tours. And I'd done a tour that was based on Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
And I was looking at, should I go back on the road again? What could I possibly do? Blah, blah, blah. And thought, well, maybe revisit the Wall. And I dreamt up all sorts of crazy ideas about scrims and projection and how to fake it. And then I had a conversation with Mark Fisher, who is sadly dead now. He died last year. Who was the designer I worked with all those years ago on the thing. And he was absolutely adamant, which he could be. Put his head on one side, you know, and he said, nope, you have to do it like we did it in 1979. You have to physically build a wall and do the bricks. That is the drama of the theatre and blah, blah, blah. And I went, okay, there's no need to shout, you know.
No need to shout.
Yeah, how are we going to possibly afford it? He said, oh, everything's different now. The technology's changed, projection's much easier. And he was right. We crunched the numbers and thought, well, why not?
Was it an emotional journey for you?
Yeah. Well, then the thing was, okay, here we are. Yeah, we're going to build the wall, but how are we going to make the show fly? And I decided that I didn't want to replicate what we'd done in '79, which was very much a personal narrative about me and all my whining. I said, we have to make this a more general statement about the state of the world and the need that people have to cooperate with one another beyond the barriers of faith or politics or rich and poor or whatever those barriers might be. And so we need to do a show that persuades us that that would be a good thing.
Yep. Roger, it was so beautifully shot. That's the thing that struck me with it. We see your children in it. We see your journey when you go to see your father's resting place. And the story about your grandfather. And at one point, someone at your concert said, Roger, your father would have been proud of you. I was very struck by that. What did that mean to you, hearing that from a total stranger?
Yeah. It was an interesting moment, because every night, wherever we are in the world, I always have 20 wounded men who come to the show, and I meet them at half-time, spend most of the gap talking to them, which is always very rewarding. And there was this one guy who was a bit older than the rest and standing in the background, and he sort of, just as I was leaving, he sort of stood in my way and put his hand out, and so I took his hand. I say that this is in the film. The moment isn't, but me describing it. And then he looked me in the eye, and he wouldn't let go of my hand. I was trying to get back on stage because the second half was about to begin. And he looked me in the eye and he said, it affects me even now, saying, he said, your father would be proud of you. And I just went, oh my God. So I was really over-emotional walking to the stage to start singing Hey You.
How old was your father when he died?
30.
And how old were you?
5 months. Yeah, he died on February the 18th, 1944.
And how do you think that affected your life?
Well, a lot. I mean, I spent the first couple of years of my life fairly convinced that if I tried hard enough, I could somehow get him back, you know. Apparently, I used to tell my mother, I'm going to go to Italy and get my dad back. And she would say, no, you can't, you know, he's dead, he's blah, 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 blah. And I used to remonstrate with her and say that I was going to go on a tractor, because that seemed like the most powerful thing that you could do. She said, a tractor's not going to cut. All right, then I shall take a double-decker bus, apparently. So this was a very determined youngster.
Was leaving Pink Floyd simply something you had to do?
Leading them? Somebody had to lead them.
Leaving.
Leaving.
Oh, leaving.
Not leading.
Both those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Leading first and leaving later.
But leaving.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, only because we'd been working together very successfully for 20 years. But, you know, people grow in different ways, and we change as the years go by, and the time had come where we had diverged. musically and philosophically and maybe politically as well. And so I needed to get out from underneath that umbrella. And
Regrets about the way you left? It was a big story at the time, as you know.
well, yeah, but there was a big story. Let me say this. I, at the time, thought that as there was only going to be 2 people left from the original band, that maybe the band was done. As it turns out, I discovered that people are only interested in property, and the name Pink Floyd was extremely valuable. So when I said this to lawyers, they said to me, "Are you insane? Nobody cares a damn about that. You cannot retire. You cannot take a decision to take something that's valuable and retire it." And I went, "Oh, okay, thank you." So that was the end of it, and I have no problems with it.
All right.
None at all.
Roger Waters, thank you for being here.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you like us to sing "We Don't Need No Education"? Do you feel like that, Roger?
No,
Because Gail and I like to sing. No.
People have been singing it all morning. Would you like to give it a go?
Perhaps we could wait till after lunch.
Okay.
And
Fair
Roger
enough.
Waters, The Wall, comes to theaters for one night only. That's Tuesday, September 29th.
We don't need no thought control. Go ahead,
All right.
Roger.
That was beautiful.
All right.